Alrighty now, friends. So in the last few sections, we worked with loops. We saw for loops and while loops. And now the last thing we need to learn about these loops is the continue and break statements. You might remember a break statement that I threw at you earlier. But here, let's break it down. All right, so we use a break statement in order to break out of a loop. And we use the continue statement in order to quit the current iteration of the loop and then continue with the next one. All right, so why don't we just have a look at a couple of quick examples so that I can show you the continue and the break statements. All right, so our questions are here. And the first one is check all the numbers between 1 and 10 and print out the numbers that are divisible by 2. So actually, we saw this question already. We know how to solve it, but now we're going to solve this by using the continue statement. So again, the continue statement, we use it in order to quit just the current iteration of the loop and then continue to the next one. How's that? Okay, cool. So let's solve the example. Now, if we try to solve this again with what we've learned so far, I say for var I equal to 1, and 1 is less than or equal to 10, and then add 1 to I every time. All right, cool. So now we look at all the numbers between 1 and 10, and we'll check to see if the number is even or not. So I'll say if I mod 2 equal to 0, then inside that, console.log I. Okay. So that's how we solved it before. Now we're going to solve this by using a continue statement. Like I said before, continue is used to quit the current iteration of the loop and then continue to the next one. So here we want to print out just the even numbers. All right. So we can implement the logic that'll do it. So that if it's not an even number, it will quit the current iteration and continue with the next one. Isn't that correct? Yes. So here we check to see if a number is an even number or not. But we need to say that if a number is not an even number, then quit the current iteration and continue with the next one. To do that, I'm just going to change this to not equal, and then put an exclamation mark, and then equal, equal. Cool. So obviously, you see the difference. This here means it is going to be a different result. So what we want to do here is at each time that the number is not an even number, well, we just want to continue, okay? And I think this is also something new here. I think that up until this point, we've always done the if like this. So we had this block and then kind of the text here and there, just like this, right? But if it's only one line and just a simple if statement like this, we can actually do it one line without the curly braces and just write it like this. So if this, then continue. That looks pretty clean, huh? So this will then break out of the loop and will continue to the next one. All right. And again, down here, I'll say console.log I. So for example, when we hit 2, 2 is an even number, and 2 mod 2 is 0. So this statement is going to be false, right? So that means that it's not going to continue. Instead, we will go straight to this line. But in the next iteration, when it's 3, well, then 3 mod 2 is not equal to 0. So this statement is going to be true, right? So therefore, we will enter the if part here, and we will then continue. How's that? You follow? So this line here will not even get executed, right? That's pretty cool. So to see the result, I'll just save all this, go to my console. And what do you know? Here we have only even numbers. Skipped all the odd numbers. That's clean stuff, huh? Remember dry? Here it is. So let's go back to our code. And now, just to separate our results in the console, I'm going to write console.log continue statement. And down in here, I'll say console.log break statement. And now let's do something a little similar for break. But the difference with the break is that it exits the current iteration and the entire loop as well. All right? So it doesn't really continue to the next iteration. I mean, that makes sense. So now this time, let's have a look at our second example. And here I want to print out just the first even number. So we want to print until we encounter the first even number. So as soon as we have something that is an even number, we will not print anything else. All right? Clear as mud. So I'd simply just replace this one here with break. But I do just want you to have, a mastery of both statements. So down here, I'm going to write my for loop again. So down here, I'll say for var I equal to 1. I is less than 10. And I'll add 1 to the I every time. Okay, so now inside the loop, again, I'm going to check the numbers. So I'll say if I mod 2 equal to 0. Then inside here, I say console.log I, and then right here, I say break. Because what we want to print out is the first even number. Then we want to quit from the loop. So here is the first I is going to be 1, all right? 1 mod 2 equal to 0, that's false, so we move on. Then I is going to be 2. 2 mod 2 equal to 0, that is true. So we enter the if statement. And here we print out the 2 and then break. So this break statement is going to quit from the loop, so we will not continue to the next loop. So let's save all this, go to our console. And yes, here we just see the 2, and that's exactly what we're looking for. So it prints the first even number, then it breaks out of the loop and doesn't change anything else from there. All right? Cool. So that is how continue and break statements work. I hope it makes sense to you. Okay, go back and review it if you're a little shaky on something, because we're going to use them coming up soon. Right now, we'll have a little break. I'll see you on the other side in the next section.